Hey, how's it going? So, welcome. This is my first time doing anything like this. Never live streamed before, so uh, shoot, we already got a few viewers. That's pretty cool. So, let's see. Sure, this is all. Hey, Cindy. All right. Well, it's been a while since I've had any videos up. I've been doing quite a bit of just personal stuff. Had to take a step away from recording and everything like that. Just had to catch up on life stuff. So yeah, we got just a little chill chat, hangout, little video. I've got a couple of products. I said products, peripherals. We got I would like to check out. They've been in a long. I've had them for a while. I've been meaning to review them, but they've been going on. I just haven't been able to. So I figure it would be a good chance to just kind of look at them, do a little kind of, how do you say, like first look, early impressions kind of thing before I do like a proper, like scripted type of thing with all my thoughts. We got a few things. Let's see. We'll get to that in just a moment. Make sure I thought I had a nice little chill music track in the back. Hold on. So how's everybody been? How's everybody doing? I've been up to a few things. Lost some weight. I got really fat for a while. And I started intermittent fasting, which has been working out pretty well for me. I'm down almost 30 pounds now. So making progress. Let's see. Hold on while I grab something here real quick. All right, there we go. Let's see if this works. Okay. Cool. If you couldn't tell, I've never done this before. So kind of figuring this all out as I go. Oh, let's see. Hey, Bo. Love you guys too. Thanks. Yeah, feeling a lot better lately after losing some weight. All right. So let's see. Let's start with our first thing here. Got this a while back from ACO. This is the mod 007HE. Pretty cool keyboard. This thing is a Hall effect keyboard, but it has a lot of more premium features, more along the lines of in terms of like mechanical keyboards, like enthusiasts. It's got like different mounting. It's got a knob there. The layout, it's a 75% layout. Really, really nice, super heavy. Let me see if I can get this view. There we go. Hey, all right. That's a bit better. So, this is a keyboard. It's got Hall effect switches. It's pretty much got everything that, well, up until the whole snap tap feature came out. It's got pretty much everything from the rapid trigger, adjustable actuation points. It doesn't have the snap tap though, and that's one thing I'm not entirely sure if ACO was planning on adding. Just from using it though, this is a really, really premium feeling keyboard. Got a little weight on the back here. I believe it's just aluminum though, but it looks cool. The rubber feet here. The USB-C port is offset to the side. So all the all the cables that I've tried have fit in here pretty easily. It's got a pretty generous port there. There we go. So no troubles fitting in any cables in here. A nice little strip of like a little accent piece here. It's just a really slick looking keyboard. Very, very heavy. This is, I think, the heaviest keyboard this is the heaviest keyboard for sure that I've tested out. In terms of performance, it's got a few things under the hood here. Let me grab my keycap puller. So we've got these switches here. These are made by Kailh, and I don't think they're proper box switches, but they feel really good. Very smooth. There's a little bit of stem wobble there. It's noticeable here. So it's not like there's no wobble for these switches. It's definitely present, but they're very smooth. These are all pre-lubed. All of the lube on all of these switches feel really consistent. So redoing it yourself is really not necessary. Feels really good to use. This is a gasket mounted as well. So I don't know how well you're going to be able to see it from top down. There's a little bit of springiness here. And yes, a little bit hard to see. Trying to figure out how I can show you. It's not a whole lot, but it definitely helps to mute down the overall sound of this keyboard. Feels good, looks nice. Lighting is good too. These are all RGB LEDs, and they are actually, these are all south-facing, so that's another big plus. Let's see if I can get this powered on here. There we go. Hey, Ray. I love you too. But yeah, this is cool because it's also got 3 modes of connectivity. You can use the cable, USB-C, but we've also got Bluetooth and 2.4 gigahertz. And let's see here. The only kind of frustrating thing about it is to switch the modes, you have to take off the keycaps here, and that there is the switch that switches between wired, Bluetooth, and 2.4 gigahertz. Battery, when I was using it with pretty minimal RGB, was all right. I got maybe 3-4 days out of it on the 2.4 gigahertz. But Bluetooth, you'll probably get quite a bit more out of it. This is overall just really nice premium feeling board. The lighting's nice and bright if you like RGB. The only thing is your typical shine through keycaps are built for north facing switches. So if you buy a regular or your typical shine through keycaps, it's not going to shine through quite as well since these are south facing. The pro of south facing keycaps is going to be the fact that you're going to be a little bit more flexible with what types of profile keycaps you can use. Specifically, Cherry profile keycaps sometimes have trouble with fitting on properly with north-facing switches, and it's not always a problem. It's something that can come up, but that is one thing that is a tick bot in the box for like the more mechanical keyboard enthusiast side of this. It does come already with foam, plate foam, case foam underneath. There's no case ping at all, no spring ping. Stabilizers are definitely acceptable. I haven't modified anything here. The keycaps that come with it are going to be random. When I double checked their website, it doesn't look like they have any in stock, but what they'll usually do is add a random set of keycaps with these. So you never know what you're going to get. But I found like most of ACO's keycaps are really nice quality. Legends are real sharp, nice and centered. They're all, well, at least this set is PBT. So it's got a nice feel to it. It doesn't have that rough, kind of chalky texture to it that some PBT caps can have. It is matte, but it's much smoother than your typical PBT keycaps. Let's see. In terms of using it in game, for, well, gaming, if you're typing, everyday use, all the different use cases, I found it was really pretty darn pleasant. Really nice sounding keyboard, smooth switches, doesn't need any work really. Once you get this keyboard, you can just pull it out and start using it. You don't have to modify it, in my opinion. Works really great. The volume knob here, that works for volume. It's also got a click here. Let me see if it's got a nice sound to it. I will do a sound test with it too. Let's see what else was there. Personally, I really like this layout. 75%, you still get your arrow keys and your F row up here, along with some extra like home, page up, page down, delete. It's a little bit more of a practical layout. So I feel like this keyboard specifically, out of all the Hall Effect keyboards that I've seen come out so far, is probably the most balanced and the one with the most features overall. You get the two wireless, you get Bluetooth, 2.4 gigahertz. It's super solidly built, very premium feeling. Comes with a set of keycaps, south-facing switches. It's got this nice little, I think it's aluminum, weight on the back there. This is a really nice intersection between like a more premium mechanical keyboard feel while also having most of the features of a modern gaming keyboard with the Hall Effect switches and adjustable actuation point as well as rapid trigger. So it's really nice. That's good. Good keyboard here. Let me see. Oh, you can also, and I think a lot of the keyboards that are Hall Effect will do this as well, but each switch can perform multiple functions depending on how far you push it down. I personally have no use for anything like that, but it is something that you can do where, let's say, medium press will be A, but if you push it all the way down, it'll be a different key that you can program yourself. It's an interesting way of doing it, but personally, I don't have any use for anything like that. Let's see. Yeah, it looks like they're not available right now. But very nice keyboard. I really like this thing. I got this a while back. I'm super sorry to Acco. It took me so long. I've been trying to get back in the swing of things. But yeah, this is a real nice keyboard. I feel like this is a keyboard that I would recommend to someone who wants like one keyboard that can do really a little bit of everything. You can do your gaming, good performance there, as well as still having a premium keyboard in terms of acoustic qualities and just the way it feels. In fact, I'll do a sound test here too. Move a few things. So, yeah, really nice sounding, super smooth switches. No case ping, no spring ping. There is just a little bit of work that could be done on the stabilizer, specifically on this side. It was a little bit weak. Could use a little bit of maybe a tape mod and a little extra lube in there, and it would work a lot. That would do a good amount for it. But yeah, so that's the Mod 007 HE from Acco. Really cool keyboard. Again, I think this would be what I would recommend to someone who's looking for a do-everything keyboard. It's got a very practical layout. We got the Hall effect switches with rapid trigger, adjustable actuation point. So you're getting all that performance, or at least most of it, for gaming. You got the gasket mount on here, so it has really nice sound as well as feel to it. It's not super springy. It's not like one of those gasket mounts where it flexes all over. This one has looks like an aluminum plate, but they do make a looks like a PC plate that you can get as well. Didn't come with this one, but if that's something that you wanted. My only fear for using a really flexy plate like that on a Hall effect board is how precise Hall effect switches are. If there's any flex in the board, that could affect the accuracy of you pressing down on it, you know? So I would be a little leery about using a PC plate on this. I did find very occasionally, not very often, but when I was using this for gaming, if I was like really furiously like W or backing up in game, sometimes while I was holding it down, just I'm assuming from the flex, it would release, even though I didn't let go. And I think what was happening was it could be a little bit of the flex. It could also be that I have it set a little bit too sensitive for the rapid trigger. That could also be user error on my end. But it is something that hasn't happened with any of my other Hall effect keyboards that I've tested so far, including the Drunk Deer and the next one I'm going to bring out. So yeah, just that was the only thing that came up with this keyboard in testing that I was a little bit concerned about. Let's see. Oh, question. I have a little bit of background music, I think, going here. Let me know if it sounds good, sounds bad, if you want to turn it off or turn it up a little bit. Yeah, so Echo Mod 007 HE. I like this. Very solid. Very, very solid. The price, I believe, is $160. And if this was not a Hall Effect keyboard, I would still like this keyboard. At $160 with Hall Effect switches, wireless, everything else, I mean, this is really a fantastic keyboard. Not perfect at anything in particular, but yeah, this thing is great at doing a little bit of everything pretty darn well. All right, so that's that keyboard. Up next, this is the weirdest thing I've seen. A very, very unique looking keyboard. This is from Varmillo, a company that I've heard a lot about. They seem to make pretty good quality stuff. I've never used any of their boards before, but they sent this out. And this is the Victory. This thing looks like stinking it's from Evangelion or something. This is another Hall Effect keyboard. Definitely, it still has a very heavy feel to it, considering this is like this is like a floating, like more of a floating open-edged keyboard. But it still has a decent amount of heft to it. All aluminum case here. We got rubber feet on the bottom. Really, really unique. This is a very interesting looking keyboard. It's a 65%. The reason I know that is because it says 65% on there. Keycaps are really unusual. Here, let me plug it in. They're like, they're almost like, how would you say, phantom keycaps. Up a bit. Let's see. Just a touch. Cool. But yeah, this is another Hall Effect keyboard. 65%. So you get a little bit more function out of this keyboard than your regular 60%. You got your little navigation, delete arrows here. So it's a pretty, it's a little bit more of a practical layout. Lighting is very cool. I'll see if I can pull up in the program here so I can show you. Come on. Oh, let's do it. All right, let's get the light show going. Here we go. Yeah, there we go. So this thing is really cool. I am not big on RGB lighting, personally. I like a little bit more subtle look. But if you like lighting, if you have a lot of RGB LEDs on your setup, this would be great. This would be a really nice centerpiece. Oh yeah, this is a 65% keyboard. Oh, what's up, Yoshi? Thanks, Raylene. Yeah, this one is really interesting. These are north-facing switches, also Hall Effect. I believe Varmillo worked with Gateron to create these switches specifically for this keyboard. Really unique. Really, really unique looking keyboard. You can see the Formula Victory there. These are also customizable. You can do a lot of crazy effects on this thing. Like there's like wave and this thing really, really crazy. It is bananas. You can do a lot. So, really cool keyboard, very unique. Switches themselves. Here, let me pull up some here. This is 67 keys. Yeah, it's Gateron. So, one thing about this doesn't have as much in terms of features. What this does have is it really lays in to the gaming aspect, and this thing can do 8,000 hertz pulling rate. So, really, really good in terms of response time. I don't have a way of testing the response time personally, but at 8,000 hertz, I mean, if you're one of those min-maxers, you're trying to get 8,000 hertz for your mouse, or you got a really high refresh rate for your monitor. If you're really pushing the boundaries there, this is a really cool option, because I don't believe any of the other keyboards out there right now are doing 8,000 hertz. I don't even think Wu-Ting is doing 8,000 hertz. So, in theory, this is most likely the fastest Hall effect keyboard available right now. This does have rapid trigger, adjustable key, like the actuation settings. I don't think this has snap tap, any snap tap feature, but I wouldn't be surprised if they added it on. They're still working on the program, the little driver. One thing I will say is that the driver is a little bit hard to figure out. It's come a long way, but it's actually not that bad. But yeah, this is overall really, I keep saying unique, but it's just like I can't think of anything else to really call this thing. It's just so weird. Like the look of it. And since the other nice thing is, and I think this was a smart idea, is they left them north-facing switches. So what that means is if you wanted to do your RGB shine-through keycaps, it'll work just fine. So if you want to do like those Razer like phantom keycaps, they would look really cool on these. In terms of the way these feel, let's see. There is some play here. They're fairly light, but very smooth. I would say equally smooth. And they do feel like they've got kind of a longer travel to them. I can't confirm that 100%, but they're very, very smooth. These feel really nice. I personally don't like the keycaps, and that's again, whatever floats your boat. Different people are gonna like different stuff, but personally, this just is a little bit too much. It's really cool though. Let's see what else here. Very heavy. Definitely not as heavy as our other keyboard over there, but considering it's an open design here, it doesn't wrap around like a floating keycap design. This is a pretty hefty board. It's not gonna budge. Like my desk is wobbling all over before this thing will go around. In terms of performance, didn't have a single problem with this. This worked fantastic when I was testing it in game. Response was good. Rapid trigger function, everything worked the way I would want it to. Excellent in terms of performance. The only question is, would you like the design? This is just a very, it's very specifically designed. It's got a lot of purple, a lot of white. But I mean, if you like purple, you have a lot of purple in your setup, that could be great. Now you could always change out the keycaps, and I've got the purple lighting on, but you could change it to any color you want. So you could change it, of course. But yeah, personally, even if I did like RGB, I would probably swap these out for something like, what is that one? I think they're called Chroma. Polychroma? Yeah, there's polychroma keycaps that really are almost like Palm, like a translucent keycap. Or Razer's Phantom. Those keycaps are also really cool looking. They're almost like pudding like this, but the legends are invisible until you turn it on. Really cool. Oh, okay. Yoshi. Yeah, this one I've had for a while. All these keyboards products I've had for quite a bit. I've been testing them for a while. I stopped accepting. I feel bummed because there are a few really cool ones that were being offered to send out to me, but I had to turn them down just because I knew I wouldn't be able to get it in like a realistically good time. And even these are like really late, and I feel really bad for taking so long to get to these reviews. But yeah, I'm back at it now. And all of these, everything I'm looking at today, I'm going to do a full review on. This isn't all I'm going to do. This is just kind of a catch-up stream. You know, try streaming. I've never streamed before, so I'm kind of just curious to see how it goes. Have some fun with it. But yeah, so these are just like my surface level thoughts on all this stuff. The more in-depth reviews, I'll make a full proper video. But yeah, really nice. In terms of performance, this is definitely up there. Yeah, 2000 hertz is really, frankly, is enough. The number of situations where increasing that polling rate would actually make a difference is so minute. Like, it really doesn't. Most people it's not gonna make a difference. Like, it's really not. You would need all of the other equipment in your setup to also be maxed out for it to even matter. So, yeah. So that's of our Milo. Oh, yeah, let's do a sound test with this guy. So, yeah. Sounds really good, too. I wouldn't say it's, like, anything super fancy, but for a gaming keyboard, definitely really good. Stabs could do some work. at least on the space bar, did not sound great. These sounded great. But yeah, this isn't exactly like the mod 007. That felt like a much more quality, like a premium keyboard. This really is more geared towards like someone who's looking for purely performance, just wants to play a game and have everything, fancy. just get something that functions as high performance as possible. That's really what this does. So yeah, that's a nice one too. Now the other thing, last thing I wanted to take a quick peek at are some really cool mice from Elecom. These crazy people were nice enough to send me 4 of these suckers. These are their newest line of mice. Got the VM 501, comes in 2 sizes. This is an Ergo mouse, and man, I really like the shape of these. It's really interesting. Like if you look at the front end, kind of G Pro, but it's got this curve on the side, really kind of cradles your pinky and ring finger there. And it's also got a little bit of a curve here. This is one of the more comfortable and unique feeling Ergo shapes I've ever really tried. These are all really lightweight. This is the smaller size and feels really, really good. Like it really just kind of, at least my hands, fits like a glove. The hump on these isn't super far back. It's fairly round. Like it doesn't have like a super rear facing hump. It's really center facing, but it still leaves a little bit of a downslope here on the front. So these are really nice. These are all using dongles, 2.4 gigahertz. They're all 1000 hertz wireless, and they've got little pockets there. Really like that. These are good. I think having this pocket is such an easy thing to do, and it's a nice little quality of life thing. I like these. Yoshi. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, trying them out and returning them, that's not that wouldn't be the most fun. Take a while. Yeah, but these are good. These are 12,000 DPI sensors, so these aren't 3395s. They're nice, but in terms of performance, they're like realistically, theoretically, the better ones. But the honest truth is, like, I mean, you're not. The difference between switches, sensors nowadays, is so minor that you're really not gonna get you're not gonna feel anything different unless you're one of like the top 1% of people playing games. The sensors are really not gonna make a huge difference. So these are really cool. I love the shape of these things. Personally, I like the small one. I got kind of like short, stocky hands, and this feels really good. The small size. These scroll wheels, like here, very well defined. Very well defined steps, which I prefer. I don't like the really slippery scroll wheels. And the clicks are also really well defined. You do have to press a little hard, personally. I would rather have to push a little hard than accidentally push it down and activate it on accident. let's see. Software. I'm not sure how to share an image of the software, but there is software for all of these. They've all got software available. Lets you adjust everything, the actuation points, rapid trigger, all that stuff. These ones do also have programs to adjust DPI, all that fun stuff. But yeah, I think I'm gonna I'm gonna need to figure out the whole streaming thing a little more before I know how to share the windows. I did a little bit of research before this, but I'm not sure how to do that on the fly. So I'll figure that out next time. And when I do make these proper reviews, the full videos, I'll make sure to have the information on the programs in there too. Which one did I use the longest? These ones, I rotated through these ones not as long as I usually do with most mice. I usually like to give a mouse like a full week at least before sitting down and doing a review. Full week, like consistent use every day, playing games and stuff. But these ones, at least these three, since they're largely just the same tech with just a different shell in size, these were all pretty interchangeable. So I use these for roughly a week, and then this one roughly a week as well. This one is very different though. First, let's start with this. This is the 510, VM 510. And these three here are the more budget-friendly options. The Ergos come in two sizes. Well, actually, I think they might be three sizes. No, it's two sizes. The two sizes here. And then this one only comes in one size. But this is specifically a symmetrical design. These are not tri-mode. No, these are dongle only. So you can use wired or wireless through 2.4 gigahertz. But yeah, so these two, same shell, feel pretty much the same. But this is the more budget-friendly one, similar to these, whereas this is the more premium version that has a, if I remember correctly, this does have a 3390. And this is a pretty interesting mouse. I reviewed another one of Elecom's mice a while back when I went on a short trip over to Okinawa, and this has a similar feature here. It's got two sensors. Like, it's kind of crazy. It's got the regular sensor. This is the sensor that, does what you would expect a sensor to do. This is a liftoff distance sensor. They call it a D sensor. So yeah, has that. Not sure how necessary it is. I've never had issues with liftoff distance with your typical sensor. So I'm wondering if it adds any kind of maybe like reduced stress or computing on terms of the sensor. I do have kind of trouble understanding why it would be beneficial. It may give you a little bit more of a wider selection of liftoff distances, but I don't know. I personally don't find it to be super useful. It's not harmful either, just kind of an odd choice. This is a really weird. It looks pretty normal, like in terms of the shape, but man, oh man, the sides here, it's hard to communicate, like just by words, but it has a really sharp thing, curve here, and it dips in quite a bit. So what this means is it's fairly narrow. It looks wider on top than it actually is. It really, how do you say? The curve is really shaped like, kind of goes like this. That, I mean, that's kind of a terrible way of explaining it, but what I find is when I use it, I like the size. The size is great, but it is really weird how it feels. Where I like to hold it, I'd be holding it right about here. And what they've done, really interesting with the side buttons, they've extended them. These are really, really long. Really, really long. And they feel good. But makes it a little bit easier to access. And they did move it back a little bit from some of their previous mice. Same with this. And at least this one feels great. I can really easily access both. Here, if you're doing fingertip, it's awesome because you can fingertip it and still have access to both of these. You can do a fingertip grip and you still really easily get both front and back. And the fact they're so wide means you can really choke up on it and still have access to both. So even if you're way back here, you can pretty easily access both. Or if you're choked up way here, you can still rock your thumb back and hit the rear side button. Very cool mouse. It's got a little bit of comfort groove here and here. And again, has a little storage for the dongle, which is such a nice quality of life thing. Much less likely to accidentally lose the thing if you were to take it with you somewhere. In terms of the coating, these are all the same. It is nothing to write home about. I didn't have any trouble with it like being too slippery. It's not too grainy or rough like a PBT keycap or that chalky feeling on Razer's previous Pro mice. But if you're someone that really values like a more grippy feel, you may want to use grip tape. And these do come with grip tape, which is cool. They come with extra skates. They come default like this with just these dots. Super fast. And these are real smooth. Like these are insanely smooth skates. I'm trying to get the angle right so you can kind of see the reflection. Like they're really smooth. Really, really smooth. So these skates feel really good. You can leave it at the dots if you want something a lot less, with less contact with the mouse pad. But if you are using something like an Artisan Extra Soft mouse pad, I find that sometimes these aren't quite enough and the mouse will dig into it too much, and you can use something like this. But in terms of build, these all feel great. Plenty lightweight in my opinion. I believe these are like sub 60. Let me grab my scale. I don't want to give you guys wrong info. All right. That is 63 grams for the big guy. 58 grams for the small ergo. And then for the symmetrical, 56 for the budget, the VM510. And for the VM610, that's the essentially pro version, 58 grams. So excellent weight for these guys. Sub 60, more than low enough, I think. These are really good. Shape is really unique. I think this is like one of the most comfortable shapes. Just like nothing too crazy on it. It is unique, but it isn't one that's so unique that I would say it's a little bit concerning. Like I would be worried about it not fitting well in your hand. This just feels good. There's nothing over, the curves are present, but at least in my hand, they don't feel overly aggressive. Yeah, really cool. And they've got the DPI buttons, and you can reprogram these too. So there is a little bit of extra in terms of practical functionality here. You can reprogram these to be extra shortcuts if you're doing something like practical, video editing, day-to-day stuff like that. But yeah, really nice, really cool. Super flattered. I got family out in Japan, and the fact that a Japanese company was willing to send these products out for me to review is super, really cool. I'd love to get these reviews out. Oh, and it's the switches. I never talked about the switches. These are Omrons. No opticals, but they're very light, very spammable. If you're someone that really likes the lighter feeling switches, these will tickle your fancy. There is a little bit of pre and post travel to these. Not enough that I would think it's a problem, though. That one I think is a little bit more of a really kind of personal. If you like it or don't, that would be more something you kind of have to decide for yourself. That's just a little bit. What it does end up doing is making the clicks feel fairly soft, not overly tactile, and the click is very light. It's nice. But yeah. So that's all the big ones that I kind of wanted to go over. Yeah. Hold on. Let me. There we go. Cool. So that's everything I wanted to go over. Just a bunch of stuff that I've been meaning to get to. Bunch of stuff I've been meaning to get to and just haven't been able to yet. Yeah. I think I'm just gonna play a little Overwatch if y'all want to hang out. Let's see. Stealthy, yeah. Yeah, they do, they've got a really subtle design to them. Nothing overly showy or RGB. And I personally like that a lot. I'm not big on super flashy designs. The Varmillo Victory is a really cool keyboard overall in terms of everything it can do. Like, it's really geared towards just being really functional for gaming. But I'm just not big on that type of really edgy design. Yeah, man. Thanks, dude. Yeah, it's good to get back into it. It's been too long. Yeah, but thanks for dropping by, Yoshi, and everybody else. Raylene, Ray, Cindy, thank you guys so much for coming. I'm still gonna be on, just playing some games. Feel free to just hang out if you want to watch. I'm gonna see if anybody jumps on the stream, seeing me play games. I don't know. But yeah, thank you guys. Let me get this all hooked up and we'll start playing.